Does an SSD slow down when it gets full? Yes, an SSD can slow down as it gets very full, but the effect isn't always dramatic. Modern SSDs manage data efficiently even with many files. However, limited space reduces resources for internal operations like garbage collection, ware leveling, and writing data. Keeping some free space is generally a good idea, but how full is too full? And does it actually affect gaming and everyday performance? Unlike hard drives, SSDs don't just overwrite data. NAND flash memory follows specific rules. The controller manages where information is stored and how blocks are reused. When free space decreases, the controller loses flexibility. The SSD may need to perform additional operations before completing new writes, increasing latency and reducing performance. An SSD contains NAND flash and a controller handling tasks like garbage collection and ware leveling. When you delete a file, trim notifies the SSD. Full SSDs don't slow down for every task. Reading data remains fast. Opening a game from a drive at 90% capacity may still feel quick. Writing new data is where performance drops. Large file transfers, video recording, and game installations expose the difference more clearly as the drive fills up. Garbage collection helps reclaim flash memory blocks. The controller identifies valid data, moves it, and erases old blocks. This becomes harder with very little space. Some SSDs use over-provisioning, reserving storage for internal management. This helps with performance consistency and endurance, though the amount varies between different SSD models. There's no universal percentage for slowdown. However, keeping 10 to 20% free is a sensible target to avoid the drive running with only gigabytes remaining. At 99% capacity, large file transfers slow significantly. OS updates and temporary file creation may fail. Running an SSD this full is not recommended. A full SSD won't reduce your GPU's rendering or FPS. Storage primarily affects loading. Problems appear during sustained write workloads or large game patches. High-speed caches also matter. When the cache is exhausted, performance drops. Available cache behavior changes depending on how much free space the drive has left. Larger SSDs often have more NAND flash for internal management and may perform better. NVMe drives offer higher peak performance, but both benefit from free space. To free space, remove unused applications, old installers, and temporary files. Moving large media to another drive can also quickly restore performance without buying new hardware. Do not defragment an SSD. They don't have moving parts. Instead, ensure trim is active, as it helps the controller prepare blocks for future use automatically. If you're constantly fighting for space, consider a larger drive. Moving from 500 gigabytes to terabytes can be a significant long-term convenience for gamers and creators. Final verdict: SSDs can slow down when full, especially during writes. Keep 10 to 20% free, and upgrade if you need more room. Stay fast.